Are you in the process of trying to decide between living in New York City or moving out to Long Island? This is one of the most important decisions you're going to make. And I say that because these two lifestyles are completely different, even though they're right next to each other. A lot of people think it's just city versus suburbs, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. So in this video, I'm going to break down the real pros and the cons of living in Long Island versus New York City based on what I actually see from people making this move all the time. And by the end of this video, you should have a much clearer idea of which one actually fits your lifestyle. So let's start with one of the biggest factors for most people, which is going to be space. Space, right? I love space. I like to run around. I like outdoor activities. I like to jog. I like to work out, and I like space. This is probably the most obvious difference right away. And if you're someone that enjoys those things, it's going to make a big difference for you. In New York City, especially places like Manhattan, space is very limited. Apartments are much smaller, storage is tighter, and you're generally working within a more compact kind of environment. Now, for some people, that's completely fun, right? You know, I've spent a lot of time for the city. I love the city, right? But you're trading space for convenience and location. But when people move to Long Island, one of the first things that they notice is how much more room they get, right? You're talking about having an actual house, more square footage, a yard, you know, a driveway, things that are hard, very hard. And if you do have them, very expensive to come by in the city. So if space is a very big priority for you, Long Island is going to have a major advantage. Now let's talk about lifestyle. New York City is very fast paced. It's run and gun. Everything is right there. Restaurants, nightlife, entertainment, events, all within walking distance or a short subway right away. Now I love it, right? I love catching myself a good Broadway show, great restaurants, great food. You know, there's always something happening. But Long Island's a little bit different. It's more suburban, it's more spread out, and it's much quieter. That doesn't mean that there's nothing to do, because there's plenty to do, right? There are plenty of restaurants, you know, great pizza, get some great steak, great downtown areas, you know, really cool niche restaurants, beaches, parks, but it's a different pace. So this really comes down to what you prefer. If you want constant activity and energy, the city might be a better fit. If you want something a little bit more relaxed, a little less hectic, Long Island starts to make a lot of sense. Myself personally, I love the city, but I like my quiet too. As I'm getting older, I'm getting up there in age. So I'm liking the quieter life a little more. It might be the kids. Maybe the kids are just like, they're aging me and I'm tired all the time now. But anyway, I digress. The next thing is going to be commuting. All right. This is a big one. You know, if you work in New York City, you know, but you live in Long Island, you're likely to be taking the Long Island Railroad. Depending on where you live, that commute can be anywhere from about 30 minutes to well over an hour. In the city, commuting is obviously going to be easier if you live close to where you work or if you have access to multiple subway lines. So one of the trade-offs here is Long Island gives you more space, but potentially a longer commute. The city gives you convenience, but less space. And this is something you really want to think about, honestly, because commuting every day, this can have a really big impact on your quality of life. So next, let's talk about cost. I know that's what a lot of you are thinking. A lot of people assume that Long Island is actually cheaper than New York City. In some ways, it could be true, but in other ways, it's not really that simple. In the city, you're often paying higher rent or higher prices for smaller places, you know, smaller areas. On Long Island, you're usually buying a home, which means you have a mortgage, you got property taxes, you got maintenance, you got a bunch of other costs. You got to take care of that grass, a lot of stuff that goes into it. You know, property taxes, hot topic on Long Island, are something you absolutely need to factor in. There can be a significant expense depending on the area. When you live on Long Island, that's what people talk about more than anything, property taxes. So while you might get more space on Long Island, your overall monthly costs might not be dramatically lower the way you think they would be as opposed to the city. They're just structured a little bit differently. Another big difference is going to be transportation, and it's going to be convenience. In New York City, you don't need a car. You can walk, you can take the subway, you can use an Uber. Everything is right there. It's accessible, right? Whereas on Long Island, you're definitely going to need a car. Okay, unless you plan on getting a bicycle and riding around everywhere, you're definitely going to need a car. And by the way, I love biking. One of my things. Let me get focused here. Okay, things are more, much more spread out on Long Island. And while there is a public transportation, it's not as convenient for everyday use. So that's another lifestyle shift, that people need to be prepared for. So let's talk about environment. New York City is dense, it's busy, it's very urban, right? Long Island gives you more of that open space or even kind of coastal beachy kind of feel, depending on where you are. All right. You've got access to the beautiful beaches. You got so many parks, places you go hiking and mountain biking. All right. And I keep saying biking. I don't really want to go biking. It's like on my mind. All right. You got more open space, right? You got, Jones Beach, you got Robert Moses, which is my favorite beach to go to. You got the North Shore, which offers a completely different experience compared to the city. You can go out there, you can do some fishing, right? I love fishing. Fishing is a fun thing to do, right? You can go out there, catch some good fish. For a lot of people, that's one of the biggest reasons why they make the move, right? Another thing that people often don't think about is community, right? In many Long Island neighborhoods, there's a more of a neighborhood kind of feel, right? Myself personally, I love that. I love feeling close to people. I love being close to my neighbors, and just inviting my neighbor to come over and, watch a game or something, right? People get to know each other. There are local events, and if you have a bit more of that small town type of atmosphere, depending on where you live. In the city, it's a little more different. It's more fast-paced, it's transient, and while there's definitely community, it's not in the same traditional type of sense. Everyone's on the go. Everyone's got things to do, people to go, places to see, things to do, bada boom, bada bang. You know what I'm saying? So when you put all this together, the decision really comes down to what you value more, right? Do you prioritize convenience? Do you prioritize being able to walk around and being in the middle of everything? Then New York City might be the better fit, right? You love good food like I do. I love good food. Hey, New York City we got, but Long Island got some great food too. So if you prioritize space, quieter environment and more of a different kind of lifestyle, Long Island could be exactly what you're looking for. If you're getting old, you have kids, you're a tired dad or you're a tired mom and you're like me, then maybe Long Island will be more appealing to you. Here's what I see happen all the time. A lot of people start in the city, right? And at some point, they decide they want more space or they want a different lifestyle. Others try Long Island and they realize they miss the energy. They need that. They need that. There's no right or wrong answer, right? It's going to come down to what works for you. So, you're trying to make that decision. You need some help. You want to figure out specific areas, commute times, or what your budget would actually look like in these scenarios. You can reach out to me. My name is Nigel. I am a realtor in the area that has grown up. I'm a native New Yorker. I've lived here my whole life. I know the area through and through. And if you're thinking about making the move here to Long Island, I'm more than happy to help you out. Okay. You can feel free to reach out to me. All of my information is down below. You can reach out however you like. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can set up a Zoom call with me. All of the ways, all that information is down below in the description. And I'd be happy to help you out to figure out what makes the most sense for you. Thanks for checking out my video. Thanks for taking the time to trust me with educating you on the area. Really grateful. And I really hope that you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.